Are you tracking your performance on the range the right way to foster growth?
Today's video is brought to us by Mantis. The Mantis family of products is integral to ASP staff building handgun and carbine skills and are your most economical and fastest path to improvement in your skills too. Whether you choose the X10, the Laser Academy, the Blackbeard, or use them all in concert, they will help your practice be more effective, efficient, and fun. Go check them out, pick up a unit, and thank them for sponsoring today's video.
What's up, everybody? I am Christopher Bean with Tactical Advantage on a nice sunny day on the range. And what I wanted to do today was talk a little bit about hit factor scoring, or more simple yet, points divided by time. And why that makes sense to implement it into your practice and your development as a shooter. So basically what one needs to do is just designate a target and pick a point value for certain things on that target. And what that helps do is what most people live in is a pass and fail mentality in regards to shooting in practice. So if they're shooting a bill drill, if they get a Charlie, that repetition is now trash. It didn't make any sense. It didn't give them the favorable yield that they wanted. So they just discount it in terms of what their overall shooting prowess over time looks like. And what hit factor does for us, it actually gives you a delineator of speed and accuracy in aggregate. So if you throw that Charlie, it's not a garbage kind of repetition. It's just maybe you got loose and what did that hit factor look like? But let's run it a couple times and just see how that can equate. So if we just do a bill drill right now, and we're not going to push it, I'm just going to try and get some numbers. So I've already designated scoring here, alpha being 5, the Charlie zone being 3, and the delta zone being 1. So let's just kind of see how that looks. I'll try and run it really controlled, and let's just kind of see what happens. All right, here we go. I'm at 5 yards, by the way. All right, so that was a 363. 363, and that was 30 points. 30 points. So we'll break down the math here in a minute, but that was run 1. So if you're a hyper accuracy focused person, you would feel favorable about that run because all our hits kind of got in a designated area. And we kind of discount time to get those hits that we or some arbitrary standard says is acceptable. So now if we try and push a little harder, maybe be a little bit more relaxed on our visual, greed, for lack of a better word, and just try and run quicker and see what happens there. Let's see. Well, that didn't do what I wanted it to do, but that was a 194 with 30 points. So we'll use that as our regulator. 30 points, run 2. Now on this last one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start purposely with a Charlie. But I'm going to try and pick up the speed from that original run 1 of a 363. So we'll see if that Charlie or that 2-point down repetition actually yields us a higher hit factor, if that makes sense. Now, what tends to happen when people try and wrap their head around this, they think this system is rewarding misses, and it's not. What it is rewarding your ability to push, your ability to explore, things like that. You are not discounting accuracy. You are just trying to introduce more than just the factor of accuracy into your shooting. So with that, we'll do a draw, try and fire a Charlie, and then we'll try and clean it up into the alpha for the next 5. So let's give that a shot. All right, so now we have our Charlie on the line, and the rest were alphas. So that would give us a run at 233 with 28 points. So I think this is actually a good setup here because we have run 1, which was overly confirmed, run 3, which was a little loose, however we dropped points, but run 2 was both fast and accurate. Let's see how that math works out. All right, folks, well, sorry about the little edit mark there, but I had to do some math with the phone that I'm actually recording with. But let's talk about that again and how hit factor may help us. So run 1 was that very controlled bop, 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 bop kind of run. And what that yielded us in hit factor, which again is points divided by time, was an 8.26. Next, we had run 2, which I inadvertently kind of fell into my speed, which wasn't really what I was trying to do, but I think it works out mathematically for us, where we were very accurate and much quicker. And what that yielded us was a 194, and we still managed to maintain 30 points. That gave us a hit factor of 15.46. Now, lastly, run 3 is the one where we purposely kind of threw a Charlie on shot 1, then came in and tried to get 5 in alpha, but at a relatively quicker pace than run 1. So that one yielded us 28 points, and we had a 233, which yielded us a 12.07 hit factor, which is about 30% higher than run 1, where we were solely thinking about accuracy and dismissing speed altogether. So hopefully this makes kind of sense to you. I see it a lot of times where we live in this binary world of shooting where it's either pass or fail. And that stifles progression. It stifles the innate need of shooters to explore the far reaches of their technique and their abilities, and that's where people grow. So if you haven't tried this, you could apply this to nearly any drill. You can still have your pass-fail data if that's what makes you happy, but try and do some math and then do some hit factor stuff. And what you'll see is the reward structure that we build for ourselves doesn't necessarily equate to high skill. And then when we live in mathematics and try and push and understand how these two things can join, your ability just tends to explode over time. So anyway, I hope that helps, guys. Give it a shot. Let me know how it works out for you. It's easier than it looks, and it helps you kind of make every repetition and every round count. Thanks, guys. See you next time.